Hello, BookTube friends and book lovers everywhere. I have a little book review. This is about Address Unknown. Address Unknown. This is a very famous book. If you haven't read it yet, maybe you want to. Maybe. Because this book has sold hundreds of thousands of copies and it's been translated into many different languages. It was originally published as a short story. Look how thin it is. Originally published as a short story, but very much worthy of being a book. And it is a book of letters between two business partners. One of them is a man in San Francisco. He sells art, and his business partner is a man who has just moved from San Francisco back to his home country of Germany. And the year is in the 1930s. I'm not sure exactly which year. So it's in the 1930s, and the man just moved back to Germany with his wife and children, but he's still in a business partnership with the man in San Francisco. So the man in San Francisco is a Jew, and the man who just moved back to Germany was his friend, but he is German, and this is right before World War II. In fact, it's just as Hitler was coming into power. So this is a heavy-hitting book. It is a prophetic little story that just thousands of people have enjoyed. I love that the little letters, if I can show you one, you get to the first one. The letterhead. Okay, there's a forward. Okay, so each of the letters has a letterhead, and you have to pay attention to these letterheads because they change throughout the book. Anyhow, highly recommended. Highly recommended. Oh, I was recommended this book by Arian at Book Zealots. Thank you very much, Arian. I think I had heard of this book before, but I had never read it before, and so you really brought my attention to a book that I feel is very important and one that I think a lot of people would like to read. Let me know if you've read it by leaving a comment, or if you want to recommend a book to me, you could do that too. I'm adding on to this video because I want to read some of the recommendations that are on the back of the book. It says, this is from New York Review of Books. It says, "This modern story is perfection itself. It is the most effective indictment of Nazism to appear in fiction." My reaction to that is that I don't know if it is the most effective. I don't know about that. Maybe. It is very hard-hitting. Next, New York Herald Tribune says, "Address Unknown is a great story regardless of time or place or immediate circumstances. It is a great story because it contains all the elements of storytelling that have gone to make great stories from time immemorial." That might be part of why it's a great story, but I think it's better than that. I really do. I think it is a great story because it told pretty much what the future was going to be like for those people in the 1930s who originally read this short story. It just told what the future was going to be like, and that's pretty remarkable for a short story. The author was made aware of what was happening in Germany because of circumstances in her life, and she talked this over with her brother while they were living in New York City, and she came up with the idea. I think it's a fantastic idea that she had. It's not very often, really, that an author will have such a brilliant idea for a short story. Just my opinion, and I've read a lot of short stories. I'm a writer, and I have critiqued a lot of other authors' work, And there's not very many that I am all that impressed with, but this is a good one, a very good one. So the next recommendation is from the Los Angeles Times. Simple, warm, human, and tremendously touching, it will take hold of both head and heart. Yes, it is touching. And it starts out being simple and just a friendly interchange between business partners. And as time goes on, circumstances change and people change. And it ends up, well, I can't tell you where it ends up because I don't want to tell you any spoilers, but this is really a good story. And then the last one on here is by somebody named Jonathan Friedland. He says that this short, fleeting story has lasted so long is not only because of its artistic achievement. Yes, artistic achievement. I agree with that. And not only because written in 1938, it astonishingly anticipated the horror that was yet to come. It is because its prescience is not confined to its time. It saw into our own future too. Jonathan Friedland, that was a great recommendation for this book. Yes, it happened in Nazi Germany. It happened in the 1930s, the 1940s, and let's hope it never happens again because that was incredibly awful. It just is shocking how low humanity can go. Okay, hopefully that will be the end of this video now, and thank you very much for listening.